情深容易，送生难. Developed in ancient China, Fuji was a divination method used especially by professional mediums, allowing these professionals to make contact with entities. This was the foundation for the development of Die-Xian, which is a type of game made popular with Chinese teenagers. Of the many dangerous variations of Die-Xian, one of the most dangerous has to be Die-Xian, the Chinese equivalent to the Ouija board. As a Yurāi Otaku, a psychic, and someone who is ethnically Chinese, I would like to take it upon myself to explain this fully to you guys. Buckle the fuck up, we're going for a ride. Now, the Die-Xian is a type of oriental Ouija board-like game, which, despite the dangers, teenagers really like playing. The general layout is basically a circle with a bunch of hanzi, and in the center there features a bowl which acts like a planchette. In fact, Die-Xian is one of many types of divination-based games in Chinese. For example, Die-Xian, which is a similar game, but the planchette is technically a pen. There's another game called Qian-Xian, or what the Japanese call Kokiri-san, in which the planchette used is just your average coin. In fact, Dia actually just translates to cookery. We would often name games in China after the planchette, and then we put the character for spirit, fairy, or immortal. So if there really was a game in China that has a wooden planchette, we would probably call it Mu-Xian, because it would make sense if the planchette is literally made out of wood. I mean, we can't have a video of any type of divinatory game without talking about the Western Ouija board. The relationships between the two are like the toucan and a hornbill. They convergently evolved from the same necessity, and they both turned into a game, forming their own specific niche. Although as a psychic I consider this an OSHA violation, these have been mass-produced by several different toy companies. The Western Ouija board is more diverse in terms of design, as we see very striking and kind of beautiful designs, which still does not eliminate the danger of this thing. Like, holy shit. Despite all the variations of factory-made Ouija boards, the homemade DIY Ouija boards are spiritually the most potent of them all. And the sheer amount of Western Ouija boards means, just want to clarify, I'm not really a demonologist, nor do I qualify as a demonologist at this point. But Zozo would essentially have an entire world where he could just reach out to, because Ouija boards are portals to the spirit realm, or essentially hell. The efficiency of Zozo actually going to our realm would probably be like the Japanese transit map. Imagine all these stations are actually Ouija boards people have been buying and playing, and you can see the threat level Zozo possesses just by using the Ouija board as his personal flu network. Just remember, a Ouija board might look good in design, but if you do buy it, don't play it, just display it. Or donate it to the Warren Occult Museum. Or Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum. I mean, for safety reasons, I'm obviously not gonna say the full procedures, only key bits which I find a little bit unique than the Western ones. But if you guys are the people who have a fucking death wish and you insist of receiving the Darwin Awards, there are websites more detailed for instructions on how to play Die-Xian. If anything goes wrong, don't say I didn't warn you. For educational reasons, you'll have to light up incense before playing the game, or you can start tapping the crockery planchette with the chopsticks, because in Chinese culture, that's how you attract low vibrational entities. All floor players then must chant Die-Xian, Die-Xian, 请你快出来. Once you've done that, the session is pretty much similar to a Western Ouija board session, except the language used for the session would be either Mandarin or any other Chinese dialect. Just please don't ask the spirit how it died, that's a great way of getting yourself fucked over. After the session, you have to chant Die-Xian, Die-Xian, 请你离开. It's much more polite than just yelling goodbye, like for the Western Ouija boards. However, the spirit might not actually be ready to go so soon, so the spirit will toggle the planchette, in which you just have to be patient. Once the planchette actually returns to the center, close the portal by making a blood sacrifice and then smashing the planchette and burning the paper. Oh, and the closing of that portal, yeah, it isn't always guaranteed. Let me clarify that this game will only require to drop a blood per person. Put the knife down, it's not necessary to slit your own wrists. So the reason why I actually wanted to make this video in the first place, so I could tell the story my mom told me about her experiences with Die-Xian. When my mother was younger, she actually played Die-Xian, in which the spirit actually predicted my mom's career as a flight attendant, also some other personal shit. Then the players actually asked where the spirit was, and then I shit you not, the planchette pointed to the Chinese character for doll. My mom and some of her friends actually broke contact with the planchette, which is a big no-no, and went to check. There's a room filled with dolls, and surely enough, when they opened the door, the fucking dolls were all animated. My mom never really recovered from that traumatizing experience. Now this goes without saying, don't fuck with anything similar to a Ouija board. This isn't really a game, this is actually more of a seance, and you're playing with forces you don't understand, which could lead to death, possession, and much worse. When you play Die-Xian, it opens a portal to the other world, so you don't know what could come through. It could possibly be a demon, or even Zozo himself. It's a very naive mistake to actually perceive these things as nothing more than just recreational games. These games are not even meant to be played by the general folk. These are actually divinatory methods. If you want to talk to a spirit, go to a fucking tâng-ki or medium. Don't take matters into your own hands. This goes for all of you who are fucking with the Western Ouija board as well. As a Chinese, as an ethnic Chinese, when you're doing a seance, you're gonna attract several low vibrational spirits, and maybe even sometimes inhuman spirits. These entities might actually cause more harm than good. Like, for real, leave it to the professionals. Don't take matters into your own hands. Mediums know what they're doing. You don't. I fucking hate every time I see people play the Ouija board in YouTube videos, because I know how fucking incompetent they are with the supernatural. Especially when they put clickbait thumbnails, in which will later influence kids to do the same, getting themselves killed or possessed. To anyone that makes a video and titles it with the cliche, "Don't play the Ouija board at 3 a.m. Here's the Darwin Awards. Now fuck off, we're full." 莫名其妙. Okay, sorry for the rant, guys. I mean, it's hard being the voice of reason here. Although people who know me as Paleo Exotics would consider me as a misanthrope, I'm actually extremely protective when it comes to people dealing with the supernatural. This stance, and I'm very sure Melinda Lyons will actually agree with me on this, but I care a lot about people's safety, especially when dealing with this type of shit. Again, please don't play Die-Xian or any other Ouija board-like game. And if anyone in your school approaches you to ask you to play in a sleepover, just tell them to fuck off and say that you don't want anything to do with them in the first place. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I am Chuck One Ting, and I'll see you in the next video. Keep venturing to the unknown, signing the fuck off.